Good morning. I'm Wyatt Layton, Operations Section Chief with Pacific Northwest Team 3 with your August 8th update for the Bradeen Hill and Hudspeth fires. Starting on the Bradeen Hill fire, our Division Kilo Victor folks were out yesterday continuing our efforts to mop up and patrol and secure our primary lines all the way around the fire, as well as protecting the structures there and making sure that those are still in a good place. Where you see black on our map, that's black line on the map. Those are areas we feel are secure, and that's the same part that corresponds to our percent containment you'll see on the map. We have line all the way around the fire. The stuff that's red, we still need to mop up and secure before we'll, turn it black on the map and say that it's fully secured. So, due to those efforts, we've had more folks return into the area, which is awesome news. We'll say that there are still areas of heat and smoke production interior to the fire, but again, we feel it's secure and won't spread externally any longer. But there will be visible glows at night, smoke during the day, coming out of a lot of that fire and the heavier fuels. We probably won't see that out in the grassier areas. As we move up to the northeast, that'll be our focus for today, really getting as many resources as we can. Very, very limited. They don't have everything they want, but they have surged in a few more things from Mitre Rock Fire today to help get us more mop up and securement along this northeast corner where they're taking advantage of some mid-slope roads, and we've had a little bit of rollout and a few very small spot fires over the last several days, especially north of drop point 118. Very steep hillside, mid-slope road is our holding feature. Snags, logs are burning out and rolling over, and then we're having to go secure those. So we're going to surge in another crew today, some engines, and try to tuck that in and get the depth that we need to hold that into the future. Hasn't been pushing us by any means, but you'll see we've had to come down and pick some of those up, and we'd like to move beyond that and put the resources into other places. So we're going to focus our efforts up here today with a few more resources, and it should look even better tomorrow. Moving down to the Hudspeth fire. So on the Hudspeth fire, Division Juliet here on the south, good efforts yesterday, no issues reported by night shift last night. They continue to mop up along the fire perimeter. They have an excavator in pulling back berms that during an initial attack might have pulled some heat into them. So there's hot berms near the fire line. They're pulling those apart, mopping those up, getting some depth off that fire perimeter. But like I mentioned on Bradeen, a lot of this we have turned black because we feel that is very unlikely to escape. We got firefighters out there. Much like Bradeen, we're going to see smoke and heat and glows interior to this fire perimeter for quite a while. A lot of snags, hazard trees, a lot of ground, and we don't have the resources to get in there and mop all that up, nor do we have the mitigations in place to make something like that safe. Moving into Delta, a lot of efforts to improve this indirect line. They got that a couple dozer blades wide. It's plumbed. They'll be testing that today. Plumbed means there's a hose lay along that fire line so that we can have water with us when we undertake a firing operation in the coming days. This old fire scar here from 2015, I believe, has a lot of snags in much of that country. Very steep, rocky terrain, too rocky and broken for dozers, very unsafe for ground firefighters with the terrain, and snag hazard out there. So this is a location here that we feel we can successfully and safely put firefighters down from, a little bit south of Adams Mountain down to Hunter Springdale Road and then around. They're going to be snagging along Hunter Springdale Road today, again, to make that safe for our folks when we bring some fire to those lines in the coming days. The fire did come over the ridge just north of Adams Mountain yesterday, a little bit of activity that folks may have seen some smoke from. Not a threat to our line right now, but reminds us this thing is still active. A little same as you move up to the north. So in the coming days, when we get the right conditions and this is all in place, we'll slowly bring some fire down with aerial ignition and some ground folks to get a hard black edge all the way around this. We're concerned about further fire progression to the east, and we need to make sure that we're in the right place, that we have enough resources to hold, and they can be safe when they're doing so, and this is what we've identified. Anyway, moving more north into Delta, a few days ago we had this slop over across the Hunter-Springdale Road. That's looking really good now. We're able to get dozers around much of this and a small piece of hand line up there, and they got some fire down to that road and been mopping that up for a day or so. So things are starting to look good. In this portion, we still have to address this in the coming shifts. Coming over into Papa on the north side of Hudspeth, very similar to Juliet on the west end with mopping up, patrolling, getting some depth. And then as we move further to the east, more mop up to do. That's why you don't see the black line on the map here, but you see the red edge. But there are lines along almost all of this. You see some dozer line here. Then we started putting some hand line that's almost all the way tied in out to Hunter's Springdale Road yesterday. That fire hasn't been moving rapidly. It's not aligned with slope in there. It's just been slowly coming down the hill. But we did get a hand crew in yesterday. They started putting the rest of this little piece of hand line in. They'll finish that today. We'll continue to mop up, get depth, and work towards full containment on this section of line. Also, we got some skingens in, so skidders with water tanks on them that are able to access this portion of the fire with water. Prior to that, some of the small engines could get there, but we can't get water tenders across that creek system based on some bridge limitations. So now that we have those, we're able to get more water support in, which will speed that stuff along. Similar to Bradeen, right? There'll be visible smoke and heat interior to that fire. We will have folks out on both fires at night. Not a ton, but they are driving around, making sure that they're keeping eyes on things. We have some other resources staged around to surge into all three incidents on the east side of the Columbia there. If we have some activity at night we need to address, we do have access to that stuff. On each fire, we do have a presence to make sure that we identify those things when they're happening and we'll respond wherever we need to. That's our update for August 8th.